Hello, David Akubian, Bearwoods Photography, and I wanted to revisit a video that I did about a month and a half ago, and gosh, it was the middle of May, so it's been a month and a half. It was in reference to the new Tamron 150 to 500 Di3, which is for the mirrorless camera system, the Sony mount, and I wanted to I did a first impression video, and I wanted to go back and talk about how the lens performed for me in the Tetons, but in particular Alaska. And you know, I knew sort of what to expect for what I was shooting. I decided I was really going to do a lot to put the lens through the ringers. I was going to do as much heavy testing as I possibly could. I really wanted to see how it would do for birds in flight, you know, with objects that would typically be sort of hard to obtain in focus. And I know a lot of that depends on the body as well. But I wanted to revisit some of the points that I looked at in the lens in the first place. So first of all, I spent a week in Wyoming, then I spent almost 2 weeks in Alaska photographing eagles, brown bears, seabirds, orcas, and had even a chance at a humpback whale. The first time I've ever seen one, I got a shot. We'll just leave it at that. So my hope and expectation was that the lens would perform close to what I'm used to with digital SLRs. Birds in flight have always been something that I've said mirrorless has been lacking. And again, a lot of this is the body, but the lens has to be able to work with the body to achieve those. And my first real opportunity to photograph birds in flight came the second day that I was in Alaska. We did a little cruise around Ketchimak Bay and then went to a little place we call Eagle Beach. And I photographed the eagles coming in. I had really good lighting. But now please remember, I usually don't shoot this many frames, but I wanted to do a high number of frames, pan with the bird, focus with the bird. And I shot about in those, just on the beach the first 2 days, because we went back to the beach the second day as well. I'm going to estimate I shot almost 12,000 frames. Now, out of those, birds in flight were probably 6,000 to 7,000. And I can honestly say that it locked on and it maintained focus and tracking with the bird every time, with the exception of, as I'm holding the back of the camera, I may have moved the focal point. I was using the tracking modes in the Sonys. I was using the A9, the A7R, or the A9 II, the A7R3, and the 6600, and I was allowing the camera to track. I was using either the single spot, but most of the time I was using the zoom. Not the zoom, the zone, using the zone focus. It would lock onto the bird, whether it was against a cliff or whether it was just against a blue sky. But I would really say that 90 to 95% of the time, easily, the lens and the body worked great together, locking on the subject, tracking it in. Were they all keepers? No. Why weren't they keepers? Because somebody clipped the wings on a lot of them because these birds were getting extremely close. I would zoom, you know, on them further away as they came in close. Even 500 millimeters on a full frame camera was too close on some of these eagles. You know, they have fairly large wingspans. But I'm going to put a bunch of the images that I shot up there, and I cannot tell you how happy I am with the performance of the lens. I am a firm believer that mirrorless is now going to be doing everything I want it to do. I'm putting my digital SLRs into semi-retirement. My faithful 150 to 600 G2 is going to be covered up and sit on the shelf and enjoy some time, some quiet time that it deserves. This is going to be the lens that I'm shooting absolutely the majority of the time. Again, a 150 to 500. Hopefully I haven't said 600, but it's 150 to 500 as opposed to the old 150 to 600 G2. Again, some of the features on it, the lens lock, so when you're traveling, it stays locked in your bag. You can also use a zoom lock when you zoom into a particular length. It stays at that focal length as well. You've got your raised button panel here, the range of focus, autofocus, manual focus, VC on or off, VC 1, 2, or 3. The mode 2 is for panning. Mode 3 is that you don't see the VC come on until you release the shutter. It actually gives you some extra stops. A couple things that I really loved about it, it was nice having the security of knowing that I could put my lens strap on the tripod collar. It comes with a foot with the 39mm, comes with the lens hood, comes with the lens cap, weather sealed. And there was one of the days that I shot out there that was very, very drizzly, to say the least. I'd even classify it as rain possibly, but it performed well. No water got inside. Everything about the lens just has exceeded my expectations. So enough of what I'm saying. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put some images on there. Hopefully you enjoy it. Again, at the end of it, if you like it, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you don't subscribe to my channel, go ahead and do that as well. But thank you for tuning in.